I haven't done anything. It basically just started like this. I didn't think it was going to. I haven't done anything. But I guess we'll get started, shall we? Let's see. Subtitles. English. Oh, confirm button. Have you put this down in peril? No. I've seen videos, though. That was years ago. Adjust the slider until computer is barely visible. Well, it's already barely visible. I think that's good enough. Current time? Alright, well, for me, it is... Let's see here. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. Thank you, Sherlock. I wonder if I can use my control pad for this game. Oh, look at that. Alright, that's kind of cool. Alright, begin the game. The end is never the end is never the end is never the end is loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, fuck, it's this narrator. I love it.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not
I don't know what
single
Super Chat
order
is.
had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh yeah, donations. I'm gonna work at that at some point. I'm actually working on a Patreon page. So Stanley was unable to move for a while. That sounds like a serious problem. No, the controller seems to work fine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Hey, if I want to look around, I'm gonna look around, okay? You shut the hell up. No? Okay. Huh. When I press the X button on my PS4 controller, it makes noise. Cute. Whoa! Who made the mess here? Can I close these doors? Cool.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
Is he mocking me? Also, what happened to that ceiling? I think whatever job was being done there hasn't been finished. I think he's done talking. I'll move on then.
Ah, no, apparently not.
Apparently not what? This office looks pretty interesting, but this particular hallway, these colors seem kind of bland and boring.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Should I? Yeah, I think I will. What's this broom closet ending? Well, I guess I have to find a broom closet.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Is that a glass disc tape? This is kind of fancy. Hang on, using slides to assure employees everything is okay. Make sure your slides thick photographic letter. Is this telling us how to manipulate our employees? Everyone is unique, you most of all. That is crap. No, they are not. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and slides. What? I'm gonna rate it at which charts in the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. 20? That's too many. Solving in conflict. If you ever find yourself in conflict with another employee, but more inclined toward the conflict unless you're the kind of person who needs conflict, why would we hire you? Remember that tip of that. What are your dreams for the future? Spring break. That's simple. Clear skin. I can understand that. Metamorphosis. Talk less. Do unbelievable amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or recognition. God, I hate number 2. Solve. Okay, let a bulb inside you. Take out passive aggressively. Work on others and resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Okay, we're done here. Oh my god. Oh, this is the broom closet he was talking about. Oh, sorry.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, there aren't even any walls in here. Look at this.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Excuse me, but there's a mop. Wait, where's the mop? There's only a mop bucket.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools here. This seems more like some sort of maintenance room.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
What do you think?
Standing around doing nothing?
Yes.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I don't need to explain myself to you. I'm sitting in a broom closet, standing in a broom
You
closet.
do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
I have
If
the
I'd
choice to
said
stay in here.
Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even...
Actually, I had another
because
reason. Someone told me.
This closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
You did think to label it, didn't you?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
Oh, it was
I
a
hope your
quote.
friends find this concerning.
I'm sorry, was that an XD smile?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Who isn't addicted to hookers? Hookers are amazing.
Well,
They
I've
can't
come
say
to a
no.
very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
That was a bad joke.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
If someone was nearby to hear that, I'm pretty sure they would have noticed the corpse before you started talking.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Oh yeah?
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Should I? Alright, I'll play along with the story for now. Executive bathroom? Oh, hell yeah. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. I beg your pardon? Oh, I can't flush the toilet. Seems a little weird that the toilet paper is right there. Maybe it should be there. I don't know. Extreme bathrooms? Well, no wonder his bathroom looks so great. Look at it. Wish I had a bathroom like that. It looks great. Needs a shower, though. That door doesn't look right for this place. Man, this place is fancy. A computer. Oh, nothing. Alright. Moving on.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
My goodness.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Who needs an office this big? There's a camera. Who needs an office this big? It looks magnificent. Alright, I'll put it in now.
Just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah, I
Trying
did.
to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Does that fireplace actually work? I'm starting to think it doesn't. Okay. It's gotta be some sort of mind
Descending
control.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I mean, it took him a while to gain the willpower to even move. I'm willing to bet it has something to do with mind control.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Well, I guess I'm doing this. I didn't think that would actually happen. I didn't think you could go back. Alright, so... now I'm back in the boss's office.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Are you done?
I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
You done mocking me? You can lay low on the sarcasm. It's not what I ordered.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Well, what else was I gonna do? I couldn't leave. Good.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Okay, just for saying that.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No.
Not after what you
It's time
said.
once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
You stick. I'm just gonna keep going until you stop talking. If this goes on forever, this is what the entire stream is gonna be for a full hour.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Okay. Okay, I didn't see this come. Is that coffee? I never understood the point of those things.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh, here we go again. Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
Are you
I
sure?
have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Are we good now? Are we gonna take a freaking chill pill? Jesus. Now this time, shut your trap and we won't come back up here.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator.
Yes, we are.
Anticipated. I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Okay, I gotta know. Does he say anything else? Nope, that's where it ends. Okay. Alright, I'm done dicking around.
You know what?
What?
I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator.
Oh, for
But
God's
the
sakes!
The agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh my God!
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged.
I think he's punishing me for doing this.
We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive.
I
That's why
guess.
people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Hold on, did I just accidentally find an ending? Stanley, all eyes on Stanley live on stage. Damn, if I ever get a poster, that's how I want it to look. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, hang on. World's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. Yeah, but they want you to pay for it all the time. Now we did it. The pyramids. What? Live, the guy who went to Mars. Yes, nothing's more impressive than going to a planet where you literally can't live. Terraform that bitch and make breathable air and atmosphere, and then we'll talk. An evening world peace baby? What? That one didn't make sense.
Yes, here it is, just through this door.
I want to look at more of the posters. I can't quite see that one over there. Fine. Oh, the world's first sentient machine. It does not look like it can answer questions. Doing great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go.
I'm a bit autistic. I'm not good with talking in speeches and stuff. Not with people, anyway. In a stream or in a video, I can seem to just ramble absolute stupid nonsense. Oh my goodness. That is bright. You call this a small conference? Wait, what's happening? Did I just die? Hang on.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a
It's a computer that tells you what to do, right?
Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay, so that was an ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Indeed. Alright, I'm gonna go see what's at the,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The broom closet. Is there more content for the broom closet?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Alright, fine then.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Now let's see here. 2845.
Stepping
I wrote
into
it
his
down.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh, that sounds nice. Alright, this game's a riot.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Let's see how far this goes. Alright.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. So, mind control facility. I knew it had to be mind control because the guy had to struggle to even move.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay, this room doesn't make sense. I mean, I get it's a mind control facility and they have to watch over when they're controlling, but this makes no sense at all. I mean, how are they supposed to keep track of all these monitors? You gotta have, like, a team. Like, one person looking at a few monitors at a time.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one
Wait, was there a camera in my room?
monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
I don't think that's
That his
how elevators
emotions
work.
had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, it sounds to me like someone else spent it.
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Offline?
Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Why? Alright, fine. That's it? What's going on?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes!
What?
He had won! He had defeated the machine!
What's going on?
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his
wasn't this a computer a minute ago?
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Where is this place?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
What happened to my boss? I mean, I would say that there was some sort of rebellion, but didn't look like there was a fight that ever happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take over.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered.
Who doesn't want to play with mind control and possibly visit the broom closet?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Damn right I do. For a minute I thought that camera was following me.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, I think we do.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it.
I wonder if we can find all these places.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
Why?
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I apologize before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
No, I'm not.
These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything.
I did try the doors.
Will save me.
And I pushed button number 4. But that's about it.
The game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
It's not working.
It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Wait.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30
this thing
seconds
could control the world?
30 seconds until a big boom and then...
Not even I think that would happen.
Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Let it go peacefully. Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life. Co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, that must be it. Yes.
By the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
You know, you're supposed to shred those papers.
Yes,
whoa.
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
This is an amazing break room.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Can I crouch? No, I can't seem to crouch. I think this chair needs to move a little bit more.
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy.
No, it didn't.
Poorly on his overall personality.
No, it doesn't.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
No, it isn't. You already told us what happened to them. Nice try. Nice picture.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
You're still talking. Is he done? Is he actually done? Alright.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room, and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Alright. Broom closet!
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope, I'm going this way.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Oh.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun.
I'm not flying anymore.
Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
That's a
mindfuck. He
mindfuck.
found it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
But I was just
And
flying.
hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Yeah.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Didn't you already
So
do
he
that?
closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I tried to move it. Oh, I can still move.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I'm real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Is that Stanley?
On this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
That's fucked up.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yeah, you better run. Alright, one more.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Indeed.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, that must be what happened.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, you ever thought of that?
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Yes.
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Quite.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, I'm going this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
My brain. This is a pretty fun game, I'm gonna admit. It's nothing but choices, but it's fun. Let's see, what time is it here? It's almost 10 o'clock. Interesting. Alright, I don't know how long this game is, but I'm pretty... Resume game? Is there a save option? Doesn't seem to be. This is fun. And I'm gonna get back to this tomorrow. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.